Greetings, geeks. Welcome to episode 640 of Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda, and I am unsurprisingly joined today by Chris DeBona.
Hello.
And Rob Roseboom.
Hello.
Gentlemen, we've done our requisite 5 minutes to stream time where we talk about all of our medical maladies.
I'm an old man.
I'm so old.
That darn Marina.
Nothing works. I liked it better when I was a kid and I watched Clerks and I didn't feel like everything was sold out.
Clerks is terrible.
I liked it.
Let's
liked
start
it
with Clerks.
I liked it when fruit didn't kick my ass.
And not an apple.
And not a hard fruit like a star fruit. You know, like, oh, I forgot how to eat a star fruit. You know, or a star anise where you have to treat it or something.
Or pomelo.
Or cassava, which is poison until you make it into tapioca.
Avocado is fruit, right?
Yeah, and you could chip your tooth on a nut, the nut in the middle of it. Sure, yeah. Let's go with that.
Don't eat the pit. That's not allowed.
Don't eat the pit. You should, put
tooth
picks in it.
I will say I got a big old bag of fresh cherries and nearly lost a tooth a couple of times on the pits of those things. So, yeah, I can't be trusted with fruit either, I guess. So, all right, the first item, Clerks 3.
We should talk about it.
Clerks 3 starts filming in August. All of the principals are back.
Yeah, they dug up the corpse, and they're like, "Is there anything left we can do with this corpse? Maybe we can decorate a wall with it, after we've engaged in Congress with it."
They spun it around and shook it out last time to see if there's anything left. Now they're rolling it up like a tube of toothpaste to make sure.
Trying to stuff it with sawdust and
it's just
leftover plastic bags and that spray foam from Loctite to try to give it some firmness. And
can we please just let it end? Can we let it just die?
No.
I mean, Kevin Smith seems like an all right guy.
Can we let it be what it was? Like a movie made on almost nothing by someone who had some really witty, clever little bits of dialogue between characters that people who were messed up could relate to. Could we keep it like that fresh little indie movie back in the day that sucked as far as shooting? The acting sucked, but what was great about it was you knew everyone really cared about it, and it was a big deal
and about each other.
Yeah. And there were some great freaking lines in there and some great little comedy bits,
dialogue, terrific little character studies.
So I guess, all right, I'll play devil's advocate for a second.
Do it.
If you guys came to me and said, let's get us and Nate and a few of the other old Blockstackers guys together, and for 3 months, all you got to do is you're each going to get paid like a year's salary for 3 months' work, and you're going to just play around on everything too. And that's all you're going to do. Come on, we'd all do it. 3 months for a year's salary. You hang out with your friends and just have fun. I mean, come on.
Yeah, but I don't think everything too is the same as the movie Clerks. I guess is my point.
Well, my point is that it's
not a piece of art, right? It's not personal like Clerks was. At least not for me.
Yeah, maybe not for you. Those things felt very personal to me back in the time, and the idea to get to hang out with my friends for a couple of months and relive that. I mean, more power to them, I guess.
That's why we do this podcast, right?
That's absolutely true.
I mean, but let's be clear. We may be. It's just Clerks 2 was crap. Jay and Silent Bob was crap. Jay and Silent Bob, the reboot, I didn't even bother with. Who did? And
I did. I watched it 3 times.
What? You have terrible judgment.
I mean, I can't be trusted with my own time, but I have too much of it.
You can't be trusted with children, Rob.
Well, that's true. That's true.
At this point,
I get what they're doing, I guess. I'm having fun with it. I will agree the last Jay and Silent Bob was rough, but it had like a third of it what came from an honest place.
So what do I know?
Yeah, a third of that movie came from an honest place, and a third of it was absolute shit. So I guess I can look at it from that. I didn't think Clerks 2 was that great, but again, like all of Kevin Smith's movies, I think a third of it is really enjoyable, a third of it is absolute garbage, and a third of it I could give or take. Except for Tusk. Tusk is a masterpiece from opening frame to closing walrus.
I appreciate Tusk and Red State just because they're not the same.
And Dogma. I thought Dogma was good.
Quote unquote Kevin Smith movie. All of these movies are just, Clerks with another writer and a little bit better polish on the film work. And occasionally some better acting, right?
Yeah.
He's been making the same movie over and over again for decades.
It's true.
And it's just enough, right?
But you know what? I'll pirate it. I won't pay for it. I'll watch it. And maybe I'll enjoy it.
Okay.
But I think like a lot of these things, it's just a chance to go back to, 1995 or something and like, remember when this was great?
I mean, I guess, but how long ago was the latest Jay and Silent Bob reboot?
It was like 3 years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago.
No, it wasn't that good.
This is just,
Beat that dead horse.
Yeah.
All right. Weird ethical things. We were talking about this a couple of weeks ago. The voice clone of Anthony Bordain. This is the easiest case for this because they're using a synthetic Anthony Bourdain voice to read aloud emails that he wrote. So it's his words and being presented to the audience in his voice. This is, if you think there is an ethical line for this technology, this is got to be okay.
Did he actually sign a contract allowing people to use his voice in this manner? Is my question. Or are they pushing the envelope there?
That I don't think it matters.
So for instance, Majel Barrett's voice has been sampled. 9 Ways from Sunday. Sure. The only thing keeping people from using it is the family and the contract status with Paramount and J.J. Abrams' company and the rest. So they're just letting it lie, right? But I think it'd be really cool to have her be the voice of future computers and Star Trek. But that said, I was a little uncomfortable with this, and it's
for sure. I guess I feel like if you're making the documentary of Rob Malda's life, and you're making it from an honest place where you're trying to be legit, not trying to do a hatchet job, it seems like this is okay. Whether I signed a piece of paper or not, it seems like this is okay. Now, if you're trying to do a hatchet job or put words into my mouth that I didn't say them, then that's not okay.
I think context matters in this.
I think context matters at this point.
And this, holy cow! I think I'm fine with this, honestly.
I guess we have to chunk it into three different categories. We've got dead guy being used to accurately portray his work. We've got dead guy being used to capitalize on something that would be against his wishes. Mm-hmm. And then we've got, like in real time, living people who are probably being cut out of rightfully earned pay because they're, the video game actors thing.
But if it is, as you say, I haven't read the story, that they are just using this voice to read emails he's written, I think that's fine.
I think it's on the bubble. But it's inherently, I don't see a problem with it. I just wish they had gotten his permission ahead of time,
Who knows what that contract
he had.
With
the video game actors thing, I was like, ideally what you do is you create a fully synthetic voice and just use that, one inspired by Zen, myself, and you, and then, poop out a really cool, unique voice that has terrible taste in movies because of you. But yeah,
thanks, Rob.
They hate Rob. Sorry, I bring that to all AI.
Oh man, what would Tony Bourdain say about your taste in movies?
He would probably hate my taste in movies, but he was fairly pretentious about culture.
I don't think he was pretentious at all. I think he was extremely grounded, and I take issue with that statement. But okay, yeah, no. My wife met him or worked with him in New York, but yeah, Patty was actually credited in his first book. Anyway.
So,
Tony Bourdain.
That's right. Well, it'll be interesting to see because with the synthetic voices thing, like these are arguably legitimate uses for them. I am fascinated to see when the line we're gonna have a rash of stories about really sketchy uses for this technology, and then something's gonna happen and the world's gonna change because people are just gonna start indiscriminately using them for evil, and it's gonna be terrifying.
Well, you know what's going to probably happen at some point. Tom Cruise is going to die, and the Church of Scientology will probably have rights to use his voice in their marketing and the rest.
Tom Cruise died 5 years ago.
Oh,
we've been watching a hologram.
We've been watching a deep fake of Tom Cruise.
Holo Cruise.
But also, like I don't know, whoever his favorite movie studio will have rights to his body and look and voice, and we'll be like, yeah, it's about the same.
Pretty much. That guy wasn't acting that hard anyway for most of his movies.
Oh, I disagree. Say what you will about Tom Cruise. That guy makes a movie. He works his butt off.
But his skill is not acting.
Can Python work as hard as Tom Cruise with the Tom Cruise model? I don't know. I think he's all right. I think the guy works hard.
I think he works hard on the stunt stuff, but I think that he's like a lot of actors where you plop him into the role, and if you cast him right, he's just playing Tom Cruise, and that ain't acting. He's just Tom Cruise.
I don't know, Les Grossman. I mean, I think that's a little unfair. Born on the 4th of July. I mean, the guy sends it.
I'm not saying that it's always the case, but I'm saying it's almost always the case.
Business or Vanilla Sky. The problem is he just does the same movie over and over and over again. So.
I don't know. Well, I mean, he does tend to do the same movie over and over and over again, but then he throws in an American Made. He throws in the Born on the 4th of July. He throws in these things that are really interesting. And what I'll say about him, he also surrounds himself with really talented folks.
Well, that's true.
So it's like, he's like, listen, I know I'm not the best actor in the world. I am physical and I'm good on screen. And so he brings like these people around him who are just terrific. And it's like, that more people knew their place in Hollywood like Tom Cruise did. Clerks 3 would be better if it had Tom Cruise in it.
Oh, let's get a petition going. Let's hashtag that.
And the whole thing could be narrated by Anthony Bourdain's voice.
There you go.
Right? Yeah. Let's do that.
This writes itself. Jack Reacher enters the room and punches Jay and Silent Bob's in the face.
Oh, the Jack Reacher movies were not good.
I know, but he's just playing the same character. All right,
he had Kobe Smulders, he had Duvall, he had all these great actors around him, but it was just crap. Anyway, so.
All right, well,
it doesn't always work,
That's true. So there's a new thing where people are playing Super Mario Brothers blindfolded, really? Which is pretty extraordinary. Looks like the records are about 12 minutes. They're a bit off world record speedrunning time, but good on them. So yeah, I'm a big fan of this. I kind of feel like we should try it. I think we probably could. I don't know that we could beat the game, but
wow! Imagine knowing that game that well.
I know back in the day it was a big thing. There are actually world records and like leaderboards and stuff for a blind Mike Tyson's Punch Out. But that's a much simpler game, right? It's just listen to the sound effect and then hit the time the punch. Mm-hmm. This would actually be kind of hard to do.
Yeah, so
there you go.
Anyway, I just thought that was charming. And it's something that I would probably like to do. But also, as we were talking about earlier, I spend a lot of time playing around with retro video games. Yesterday, I played Bionic Commando for like a half hour.
Bionic Commando?
Yeah. It's a Nintendo game that I played at my buddy's house when I was about 10, 12 years old and loved it.
Yeah, I'm trying to find a screenshot.
It's actually not a good game. The other game that I was playing yesterday
No.
The other game that I was playing, which is a good game, is DuckTales on the Nintendo. That is an extraordinary platform. It's the same people that made Mega Man, and it's really good.
I remember that one. I don't know why I remember it.
I remember it because I babysat a couple of kids, and they had DuckTales, and they had Chippendales Rescue Rangers. And when I went there, all they wanted me to do was beat levels of DuckTales and Chippendales Rescue Rangers. And I was like, all right, I will go to your house. I will play the games that I don't own. And then I will be paid whatever $2 an hour that you're paid to babysit little kids in 1987.
It's a good game.
Did you see the video of the steamroller running over the Bitcoin miners?
It's so satisfying. Here, I've got it here. And share. All those ant miners.
Oh, crunch, crunch, crunch.
Beyond. Oh, man, look at that.
It's very satisfying, man.
I don't know if you can hear my sound. I can turn it back on, but it's just basically
it's
crunch,
crunching.
Crunch.
It's mostly diesel engine.
Crunchity. Crunch.
To our podcast audience, we are now watching a steamroller crush thousands of tiny computers.
Yeah, of ant miners. Yeah. Oh boy. They still call them ant miners. I'm not really super up on Bitcoin.
I don't know what they call these.
So
they just look like little computers.
What really cracks me up about this, honestly, is the thing about these sorts of mining rigs. If you buy them for like half of what they cost to make or something, and then you have to share the Bitcoins with the maker. You know,
there's been a bunch of those over the years.
The maker keeps like half the Bitcoins or whatever, and it's like, I'm like, so everyone is just basically, you know,
it's a pyramid scheme.
The company. Oh, of course, it's a pyramid scheme. So.
I mean, maybe it's Looney Tunes, but what do you think it is about watching a steamroller smash stuff that is so enjoyable, right? I mean, it's one of my favorite episodes of Malcolm in the Middle, for sure, when the dad wins the lottery and spends all his earnings on renting a steamroller and then smashing stuff, random stuff in a parking lot. And maybe it's the cartoons we watched as a kid because, you know, Bugs Bunny or the Roadrunner would steamroll all kinds of stuff.
Yeah.
But man, I look at this and immediately I feel better. I feel better that this giant machine is smashing stuff.
You feel like you could take out a whole bunch of bananas.
You know, and if he does it long enough, I bet you everything gets really flat.
Yeah. It just, it's cathartic almost.
You know, there's this part in the video, it's right about here. So where I'm like, wow, you know, those tires, those are some durable tires.
Well, the thing is, that thing is so big.
They're basically going over like spiky metal, but they're like, I don't care. I'm a steamroller. You know?
That thing is so big, he doesn't even need the steamroller. He can just use the giant tires, and it's still going to get the same job done.
That's not true.
But it's awesome.
Steamroller. Well, the great thing about steamrollers is they're hot. You know, is they shoot, you know, gas flames into them to keep them nice and warm for when they're doing asphalt. I wonder if they turned on the flame, because then you'd have hot crushed ant miners. You know, and like the plastic would start melting.
Yeah, probably not, because the plastic would get sticky, right?
Ooh, it'd stick to the drum.
Yeah, but I bet you that drum's got a scraper on it. I mean, that's a real steamroller right there. This is a machine that should be admired. You know.
And
look
we
at that
did.
steamroller, y'all.
And we did. So we had another billionaire go to air quotes space today.
Yeah.
And
didn't die.
Didn't
so
die.
Good for him.
Took with him somebody who actually deserved it.
Let me go to the.
So Wally Funke, was that her name?
Wally Funk, just Funk.
First
of all, the booster was recovered, so that was nice.
That's cool.
You know, recycling, you know. Be kind, rewind, or whatever. Here, let me share this tab.
Yeah.
So
they went dramatically higher than that other billionaire.
Yeah, they win.
Yep. Until somebody else comes along and goes even higher, because the next billionaire gets to go around the moon, right?
And plop.
Thump. Ooh, good cloud.
That's a nice, slow, you know, touchdown.
Controlled descent.
The things did their job. You know?
I did like that flight. Their flight was like 15 minutes start to finish, but the first billionaire flight had to fly for like 2 hours before he even got to launch. He had to
fake a bike ride on the way there. Yeah.
Fake a bike ride. It's right. That video was
awful.
awful.
About that, right? Yeah. See, and the booster landed no problemo.
That's cool.
You know, it's the 15th flight of the booster. I mean, I gotta say that's remarkable engineering.
Yep.
You know?
Ooh, that part's not so good. Bernie.
No, that's expected. So
it's normal when your rocket just burns a whole bunch. Man, it's a pretty good landing.
It's a great landing, and it's a binary rocket. It's just hydrogen and oxygen. You know, so I mean, it's non-polluting. It just dumps steam. You know.
No, it's an interesting thing. It'll be interesting to see now because
glad they didn't kill the kid. I'm glad they didn't kill Wally or Jeff's brother. I'm glad they all survived. Good for them. So
now when Billionaire 3 goes up, he's supposedly going around the moon, right? But that'll happen.
3?
I don't know. I'm trying not to say any of their names because I think that gives them credit.
What, Elon? Is Elon going to do some crap?
I don't know. No, Elon said that he was going to be on a seat for a swinger on the moon. But I mean, that guy says a lot of stuff, so it's really kind of hard to tell sometimes, like what's real and what's fake.
Wait, so just say their name. It doesn't matter. Nobody watches us. You know that.
Oh, I mean, Musk is 3, and Branson would be 1, and Bezos would be 2.
Okay. Well, we've talked about that enough.
Yep.
I mean, it's
Dune. They put a poster up, and you want to complain about Zendaya for a few minutes.
Here's the thing. Every single actor on that poster is like a level of epic that's like way up here, and then you have Zendaya. And I'm like, I think she's talented. She's part of New Hollywood. I think she's going to do swell. Seems like a fine actor. I just don't think she's at this level, I mean, Rebecca Ferguson blurry brings more to the poster, Yeah.
I don't have a strong opinion.
To it,
I like Zendaya.
I like her too, but I don't think she's shining, man.
Well, okay, so I actually like Zendaya more than Chalamet. Like, I don't know that I've seen Chalamet in anything that I cared about.
The thing is, Paul is such chicken breast, whatever sauce you put on him, he's going to
taste like that.
And Chalamet's kind of like that for me,
He seems very cute. The ladies seem to find him to be an attractive young man.
Yes, he's who was Paul in First Dune? Oh God, why is it
the mayor from Portland?
Yeah. Portland. K something. Anyway. But yeah, it's like, I mean, you got Josh Brolin, you got Oscar Isaac.
Yeah, there's some real folks in there.
Duncan Idaho, for God's sakes.
Yeah, they should have, when they recast this, they should have just used everyone from Twin Peaks, right?
Totally. I would have been all in on that.
Oh, not Ned Beatty. Who's the Emmett Walsh? He was not. Can you imagine Emmett Walsh is Duncan Idaho?
You know what's weird to me is I was looking at that and it's
Kyle MacLachlan.
Yeah, the mayor from Portlandia.
Yeah,
and I'm pretty sure he likes cherry pie.
Yeah, and he was in that stripper movie. So.
That stripper movie. We're so reductive. We're familiar with your career, but we aren't going to dedicate any brain space to remembering your name.
Well, I mean, is Showgirls really worth remembering?
No.
I've seen Showgirls several times, so as discussed earlier.
Of course you have.
We've already determined you have terrible taste.
Showgirls is better than you think, but it's not good.
No, it's not.
It's not good.
It's okay. It's got its moments. It's not like a third good.
No, definitely not.
It's like a 10th good.
Oh, Rob, that reminds me. Rob, have you watched Fear Street?
No, I have not yet.
I have a picture of Fear Street, and here it is.
Crunch, crunch, crunch. I watched the first Fear Street 1994 yesterday, and I'm super excited because it's
Fear Street.
It's not well. Okay, so it's really interesting for me because it's actually like a trilogy of movies that Netflix is releasing 1 week apart, and it's interesting to me because it's blending. So Netflix always does the binge 10-episode drops sort of thing. This is them, but instead of doing episodic TV, it's episodic film. And the 3 movies are like horror movies that are linked together as a trilogy, but one is set in the 90s, one in the 70s, and then one in the 1600s.
Whoa. And they start with the most modern one.
Yeah, and work backwards. And so the finale of the first one reveals characters from the second one that they have to go meet. And then I guess the second movie is going to be a flashback to the 70s where we learn the story that's related. And it's well done. I mean, it's just kind of a slasher movie, but I like the idea that they're connecting it into a bigger mythos like that. And I really like the idea that they're releasing a trilogy of movies sort of sequentially like this, and meant to be sort of consumed as a package. It's different.
This Friday. Oh, guessing.
So yeah, I don't know how it would rate up amongst horror films for you, Rob, but I'm curious to see what you have to say about it. And I'm probably going to watch number 2 in the next day or two because it was fun.
That looks like fun. Yeah, thanks for pointing that out, man.
It's worth your time.
Sorry, I was just watching part of the trailer. So, here you go.
Back to Dune. Oh, Timothée Chalamet. So we have one other link in the channel, which Rob, you shared, and I didn't post it. It's 20% of Americans believe that there are microchips in COVID vaccines. 20%.
Yeah.
Wait, now what? What did you say about the vid, the coronavirus?
I just put it on the zone. So 20% of Americans believe that there are microchips in the vaccine, which is now,
I don't know, 20% of Americans who answer a phone-in poll.
See, I would think that would actually skew you the other direction, because I would think if you were paranoid about the government, you'd be less likely to answer your phone.
You'd think, but it turns out they're using their freedom phones. So
yeah, you'd be more likely to have a landline, I would imagine.
So isn't that always one of the arguments that they make about polling regarding Trump? Is that Trump voters tend not to answer polls because they don't.
Well, and they tend not to say the truth. They are embarrassed that they are supporting Trump, and they don't want to say it. So that's the other really big one.
But apparently there's no shame in thinking that there are tiny, tiny, tiny microchips inside of that, like 2 milliliters of fluid that they put in you.
I shared this because I thought, wow, that's crazy. And it is crazy. But also, if you actually sit down and think about how many people believe the earth is flat, or how many people believe that Obama was actually not born in the United States, or a half dozen, how many people believe that we never landed on the moon?
The lizard people.
There is an astounding number of people who believe crazy shit.
Let's do the math, right? So there's 7.8 billion people on Earth.
Well, this is 20% of Americans,
right? And
we're not all Americans.
Well, hear me out. And so I don't think it's 20% or even 1% for flat earthers or moon denialists and that kind of crap, right? Because even in America, population 340 million, 350 million, if 3.5 million people did not believe in flat earth and acted accordingly, society would be gone. We'd be a smoking hole in the ground because those people would represent such a clog in the system that we wouldn't be able to operate. I think it's
completely disagree.
Yeah, I think this story is 100% proving this, because we've got half of the country that won't get vaccines. So
I think you just haven't worked in certain parts of the country with certain people.
Yeah, you should spend some time in Michigan.
Well, yeah.
Hang out, drive north from my house for about 5 minutes, and then talk to anyone.
That I spend a lot of time in like the northern climes of Minnesota and stuff. I've seen the Trump, Jesus, God, and Country signs. I get it, but I mean, there's got to be a limit, right? I mean, because let's be clear, this thing, if you don't take the vaccine, you can die from it, right? And it's not like could. I mean, you're more likely to die of it than you are likely to believe in microchips. Well,
my fundamental problem with this, just like, okay, whatever you believe about anything, how small do you think microchips are? Like,
well, this is okay. So I have a theory.
All right.
Can I tell you my theory about this? I think that people watch movies and think they're real. So I think there's a percentage of humanity who's like, oh yeah, the nanomachines that Tony Stark used in Iron Man, that's a real thing. They're just not sharing it with all of us. It's only for rich people.
they think Inner Space was a documentary.
Right, exactly. Like or Elysium. You know, we have a spaceship.
That documentary,
really
Elysium,
around, and Jodie Foster is speaking in an unintelligible accent.
That's where they're keeping Hunter Biden's emails.
That's why they're keeping Hunter Biden's laptop.
Yeah, that's probably where Hillary was backing up her emails.
Yeah, for sure. You know, so, and it's like, you know, you kind of don't have the heart to tell them, no, Hillary was using an Exchange server in her basement. It was grim. You know, this was not high technology.
Right.
This
no, the failure here was
running an old version of Exchange.
The failure here was that she was stupid.
Well, I mean, she was no more stupid than all these companies getting owned with ransomware.
No more stupid than IBM. They lost all their email from Lotus
than all
Notes.
Of IBM, who spun out their own packages and stopped being able to use email. It's like, you know.
It turns out that IT is actually kind of hard, and you gotta actually put forth
this is really
effort.
Funny. My great aunt believed the Series V was real. I mean, yeah. I mean, I think people, and most of them don't go that far as to thinking that there's been a worldwide invasion of aliens, but you know, they do think that science can do more than it can. So the idea of super teeny microchips improving your 5G coming from Bill Gates to vaccinate and / sterilize you, that's completely legit, right? And then you add on the fact that, so I mean, I think we talked about this in a previous episode. For Black folks, you know, they were experimented on, so they're a little suspicious.
There's some history,
and there's some history there, and like, you know, what we did so it was a good thing to find and kill Osama bin Laden, but the way we did it is we inspected the DNA of people we were giving vaccines to.
Yep.
So suddenly now people are like, well, wait a second, this is just a big data gathering thing for the CIA. And they're not wrong, even though it sounds crazy. You know, they're not wrong. So at the root of all this is basically people doing the wrong thing, right? Which causes people to mistrust the public health authorities. And it's like, you know, the problem with this is they're going to die if they don't get this vaccine. And they're going to kill some people who want the vaccine but are too young or immunocompromised to get it. So it's like, wow, okay, so, you know, their choice is pretty stark, but it's pretty clear to me. I don't want to kill anybody, you know, and I don't want to die. So I got the vaccine.
I don't know. There's a few people that I wouldn't mind killing, but I want to do it like the old-fashioned way. Like with a broadsword, yeah.
Forcing them to watch Clerks 3. You know?
The slow death. I'm all in.
Snooches, death by snooches.
Look, man, anybody who, if you want to roll with me, you're going to be at the very least brain dead.
With Kevin.
Yeah.
What would Kevin do?
Yeah. I got my WWKD bracelet on right now.
Yeah. I hear you.
No? All right, let's see. Did you realize that Suicide Squad comes out in like 2 weeks?
Suicide Squad, this is the Tim Gunn one, right? Not Tim Gunn.
James Gunn.
James Gunn. Tim Gunn's the
Jimmy G.
Not to wear guy. I'm looking forward to this because I think James Gunn is great.
I do too.
I'm looking
and
forward
actually,
to
now
it.
that I think about it, I take back what I said about Clerks 3, because if you look at the DC extended universe movies, it's pretty much the Clerks series. You know, there's probably one good movie in all of it, and then it's just a bunch of crap, and you're like, what is going on with these people?
I like a lot of the DC cartoons.
I am looking forward to Suicide Squad. So
I think the DC cartoons put out a pretty good movie every year.
I agree.
Oh, for sure. I wish the animation department would actually start doing movies, because their animated movies are really good.
Yep.
A lot of them are.
Did we talk about Gunpowder Milkshake?
No. Was it good? I heard it was good.
I enjoyed it. I'm not going to tell you that
it's... It's like a woman-helmed...
It's John Wick with lipstick.
Movie?
John Wick.
Nice.
With
Okay.
All-female cast.
Yeah.
Sweet.
But it's
but not like bad like Ocean's 8 was. It was like
no, it's super stylish. So John Wick leans all in on the grit. And this leans a little harder towards style than towards just like being gritty, I think. It's very enjoyable. It is not going to win Like, it's not going to win all the awards or anything, but it's just, you know, a very stylish, let's have a bunch of cool fighting scenes. And everybody in it's like real cool. It's enjoyable. I'm not gonna...
that's right. It's got Karen Gillan in it.
Yeah.
She's cool.
Yeah, she is cool. It's definitely one of those movies that when you look at it, you're just like, oh, everybody involved with this.
Oh, yeah.
Like, a lot of stuff doesn't quite work,
cast,
but
man.
everybody involved with it is skilled at what they're doing. There's a really great, like, dolly shot, slow-mo action thing in the finale. Like, it's like this minute-long slow-mo dolly panning shot, and when you get there, you'll see it, and it's just like, wow, skilled people cared when they made this.
Wait, and does it have the Continental, or is it just inspired?
No, but it has so many elements. The equivalent of the Continental in this movie is a library, and everything is all about like books, and all the references are to books and stuff. But it looks and feels.
It's not the same building. No, it's not.
No, but it's clearly like in the same vein.
It's got a 924 or a 944 going on here.
And instead of a tailor, there's a librarian. So it's completely original idea.
Yep, but you still get a bunch of guns from them. Yep,
that's great.
Yeah.
I mean, it is also...
Oh, it's French. Yes. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, and Angela Bassett, man.
I mean, everybody in it is great. But it's a total style movie, and very, very, very,
and
very
Lena
well
Headey's her
executed.
mom.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoyed it tremendously. I highly recommend it. But you also like it's John Wick with lipstick.
I'm all for it. I'm going to totally watch this.
And
who doesn't love Karen Gillan? She's like 6 feet tall. She's so tall.
She is super tall.
No, she's probably taller than Keanu Reeves.
Maybe. Keanu Reeves is pretty tall too, isn't he? I thought he was like 6'2".
No, maybe she's not as tall as Keanu Reeves.
So there's one other movie that came out that I didn't watch, and I bet neither of you did, but I feel like we should discuss Space Jam.
I did not watch that. Was it?
I haven't seen it yet.
It was a movie, I understand.
I'm going to watch it in the next 3 days. I just am curious if either of you were going to slum it that low.
I didn't watch the original Space Jam. Why would I watch this?
Not only have I seen the original Space Jam when it came out, but I saw the original Space Jam like a year ago. But
again,
bad taste
Clerks
in movies.
3.
Yeah. I'd go to see Clerks 3 in the movie theater.
No.
The only review that I read of it is that by the end of the first 30 minutes of the movie has no Looney Tunes characters in it, and then apparently the last third of it is just how many cameos from every single movie that studio owns. It's not Looney Tunes, it's just cameo, and that's the whole movie. I'm kind of interested in seeing that just to see who they decided to put in it.
So are we talking about Space Jam now or Clerks 3? I can't
Probably
tell.
the same thing, right? Cameo.
Did they leave in the Clockwork Orange people in the
Apparently,
background?
yes. Apparently, yes.
Okay, the Droogs.
Right.
Oh, Tomorrow War got a confirmed sequel.
Yesterday War? Day After Tomorrow War?
Tomorrow Peace.
Next week Peace.
See, I think the problem for some of these movies is there's just so few options that there are some movies that are horrible that just did really well because people are like, I have to see something.
Yeah.
I'm at home.
I need entertainment. So I feel like there's a bunch of sequels coming out that aren't going to do very well in the future once people have more options for what they're watching again.
I wonder about that lately because on Disney Plus, they released the last 3 Pixar movies direct to Disney Plus, right? And Onward and Luca were both, I mean, depending on how you feel about them, boring, mediocre, maybe okay. I think Soul was pretty good, but I mean, they're dumping a lot of mediocre movies, but I think a lot of people are. I think a lot of people are still ending up watching it because you already got the Disney Plus subscription, so you can watch Baby Yoda or whatever. And I think the same thing is true of the Tomorrow War and for Well, I mean, like Suicide Squad, it's going to be on HBO Max for free. So, I mean, I'm paying for my HBO. I'm going to watch that
you're
movie.
Paying for HBO Max, so
yeah.
And honestly, what are you sticking around for? Game of Thrones prequels? You know, it's.
Did you hear the production on the other one of the Game of Thrones prequels got shut down because a bunch of people got COVID?
Not just Game of Thrones, like the number of productions are getting shut down because of COVID.
Yeah.
It's funny because a lot of people were like pissed off at Tom Cruise, huh?
Yeah.
Getting upset on set because he's like, keep your fucking mask on. Otherwise, all these people are going to be out of effing work, you effing idiot. And I'm like, thank you, Tom Cruise, for saying what we're all thinking, you know? And it's like, and what's happening on these sets? You know, idiots are, you know, spreading the love.
Yay. I don't like any of it.
And we go back to this story.
Yeah.
Which really is this story.
It's all connected, man.
It's all connected, man. You know? That's what you should say to people. You say, yeah, but those microchips, they mine Bitcoin for you. It's like,
well. So really you're not getting your vaccine, you're getting your Bitcoin injection. So there you go. That way my entire existence can be on the blockchain. Sign me up. All right, folks. Shall we say goodbye?
Yes.
Sure.
All right. Goodbye, Rob Roseboom.
See ya.
Goodbye, Chris Dabona.
Bye.
Thanks for watching Geeks in Space. I'm Rob Commander Taco Malda. We'll see you tomorrow. Maybe this time we're going to watch Running Man. Bye.